Okay, here we are solving for theta of non-special triangles. So we're going to be using our calculator. First thing you should notice, A does not have a domain restriction, and B has a domain restriction, if you can see it above the calculator here, which means our answers to A will have plus 2 pi n next to them. So first thing we do is we get cosine by itself, which would get us negative 1 over 17. I suggest drawing a unit circle so that you know which quadrants your answers are taking place in. Cosine, or the x values, are negative to the left. So here and here are the two locations for our solutions. Our calculator is about to give us this arc, which we know is past this halfway point, and the halfway point is 1.57 approximately, because we know it's half of pi. So hopefully we get an answer that's bigger than that. So on our calculator, we hit inverse cosine of negative 1 divided by 17, and we got that, which is great. 1.629 rounded up, 630. So that's the size of this arc here, which is one of our solutions. So to be safe, we need to remember to put plus 2 pi n at the end of it, because it has no domain restriction, and that represents all the solutions for this location. Now, we need this location here. Because there's no domain restriction, we are allowed to state that this angle is the negative of this size. This size is the symmetrical arc as this guy. They are the same length, which means this angle right here is negative 1.630, which is a legitimate answer. If we stick plus 2 pi n next to it, we are technically done. These two represent these two locations. If you don't recognize that that angle is negative, you can, starting from 0 and working in a positive direction, stop right here, which is what most people do. What is this angle? Well, it's a full circle, which we know is 2 pi, minus this chunk. Now this chunk, this arc length right here, is 1.630. Regardless of the negative just told us to go this direction. But the length from there to there is 1.630. So if we subtracted it from a full circle, we would get this location. So I'm going to do 2 pi minus the previous answer. Oops. So 4.654 is also this location. Both of these angles are this location. Both are acceptable to have, but have one or the other. So you need to have this angle and one of these two. Okay, let's try B. Trying to find a spot you can see the calculator. Let's go right there. So this one, sine's already by itself. It is negative, so we need to recall where the answers are going to take place. Sine is negative down here in quadrant 4 and down here in quadrant 3. Your calculator is about to give you this arc right here when sine is negative. So we do second sine, negative 11/12. And if you can see that, it says negative 1.160. It's negative because it's going in this direction. However, this says find the answers between 0 and 6.28, which this is not. So we have some work to do. We need to find this angle, but starting from 0 and working in the counterclockwise direction and stopping right there. A full circle is 2 pi, so it's 2 pi minus this distance. This distance is the positive of this number. So if I took my answer and I multiplied it by -1, now I have this distance right here in a positive form. I can simply do 2 pi minus the previous answer to get it. Or I could have just taken the negative and hit plus 2 pi. That just means starting from here, go around once, and that would have been fine. Either way, ended up with 5.124 as this first angle here. We need this angle here, which is this distance of this arc that I'm shading past pi. So we have to do pi plus this distance, which is this guy here, 1.160. Now I didn't save it on my calculator, so I'm going to punch the inverse sign of -11 divided by 12. So I have that negative. I'm going to multiply it by -1 so I don't have to worry about the negative sign. And then I want to add that to pi. So that angle right there, I have 4.301. So there are the two angles that are between 0 and 6.28. Alright, here is problem number 2. Copy that down. Press pause if you need more time. Otherwise, here's the solutions for that. And here is problem number 3. Boy, that just doesn't focus very well. If you need more time, press pause. And here's the solution. Excellent.